stand here and I'm making short jokes. First of all, one, I'm not the tallest guy in the world myself. Second of all, it's on my rope, so whatever. But we make short jokes, but the truth is that I don't know a guy that casts a greater shadow. The sun has to be angled right. But I do have to turn to you, and I have to ask you, how does it feel to know that you can start a baseball team without seeking anyone outside of your immediate family? You can start a football team. Just on a little Chicago advice, if you use your quarterbacks the way Chicago goes through quarterbacks, pretty soon you're going to be broke back, like Holland. That was material. That was right there. All right, now everyone loosen up, please. By the way, we've talked to Professor Halleman, we've talked to Professor Matthews, we're having a good time, everything's all jokes here tonight. Now, when I first asked Professor Matthews to be roasted here tonight and help us raise some money, I realized that the bottomline.com, this is a fundraiser. We need people to sell tickets. So what I was thinking was, who's going to sell tickets? I figured if we invite Professor Matthews, he'd bring his family, and I don't know, I'm not a mathematician, but that's $10 a ticket. That's like about $150. They didn't make it out tonight, so we didn't exactly make quota. Sorry, Malawi. But, that's all my time. I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore.
You guys might not have. And my connection with him didn't start in the classroom. It started out on a football field. And let me tell you about this. We had a football team this year, first semester, and we were the best team all year, right? And we were undefeated for a while. Most of the year, we were undefeated. All right. So, and one gloomy day, we happened to lose. And it was the playoffs.
I wasn't there.
If I was
there, we would have won.
Thanks, Stefan. So it was the playoffs, and it was over. And I'm really competitive, and I was really sad. And as I'm walking off the field, I hear this high pitch chirping, and it's coming from Professor Matthews. And I'm just like, whatever. And I'm really in a bad mood. Like, I'm actually in a bad mood. So I just walk to my car and I leave. I'm out of here. I come to school the next day. Some of you guys in the other sections, people, you should have heard what Professor Matthews was saying once you left. Like, you guys deserve to lose. You guys talk so much smack. You guys, Cyrus, you're the reason they lost. I couldn't believe the stuff he was saying. So, naturally I'm mad. I walk straight to his classroom in the morning. He's getting his notes prepared. I walk in, say, look, Professor, if you've got something to say, you step up, you say it to my chest. Are we clear? Alright, well that's how I knew I'd be able to roast this guy. I knew we had shared a relationship right away. And I know, guess what happened in class? Guess what happened in class?
He called me.
No, he didn't call on me for a case. He called on me for footnote 4 of a case. No joke. I don't even read the cases. But whatever. So that's when I knew I could roast this guy. Well, our plans to roast him actually hit a snag about a month ago. I don't know if anyone saw this on the news. I live here locally, so I'm in Costa Mesa. And the news comes on, and they start talking about a story about a law professor who goes on a murdering rampage at Disneyland. All right, anyone hear about this? No? All right. Well, the news comes on, and they start fleshing out details about the killer, the alleged killer. And they say, the killer's a father of 7 from Fountain Valley. And I'm like, oh my God. I only know one father of 7 anyway. Then they say, the killer was so OCD, he cleaned the blood after he killed the people. And I'm like, oh my God. The most OCD person I know. And then they actually knew that he taught ballroom dancing. They knew this about the killer. And I said, wow, what a goofy thing to know, what a goofy thing to do. I'm like, oh my God, Professor Matthews. And then they actually say He's a teacher at Whittier Law School, and his name's Mark Matthews. And I'm shocked. I'm saddened, people. I pick up my phone and start texting people. And I look up, and they have footage of the killer from earlier in the day at the park. And he's riding Space Mountain. And that's when I realized, I don't care what they say about this on the news story. This couldn't have been Professor Matthews. Because anyone who's been to Disneyland knows, roller coasters are tight limits. This couldn't possibly have been Professor Matthews. So I was relieved, and the roast went on. Anyways, well, the main topic we learned first semester for Professor Matthews is personal jurisdiction. You know, he touched on it a little bit, but I had a hard time learning about it. And it wasn't until Professor Matthews broke it down into elements for me that I really started getting the stuff. And it wasn't until I got to the fifth element that I started realizing Professor Matthews looks an awful lot, you know, he shares quite the mini resemblance, and I mean mini, to Bruce Willis. Now listen, I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but listen. If you take away Bruce Willis's muscles, alright? You take away that cool guy attitude that he brings to the table, you take away that charm, and maybe you give him some kind of anti-steroid. Something to make him less intimidating, maybe a little more frail. You'd have Professor Matthews. Right? But even though they look alike, I can still tell you guys ways to differentiate the two. Alright, based on their characteristics alone. While Bruce Willis is out fighting bad guys, Mark Matthews is fighting gingivitis. While Bruce Willis is out saving the human population, Mark Matthews is adding to the population. And while Bruce Willis is scheduling multi-million-dollar blockbuster movies, Mark Matthews is scheduling office hours while he's in office hours. But honestly, I really feel lucky to have him as a teacher. I know a lot of you guys have him for professional responsibility and property, contract, civ pro. You know, we should all feel lucky considering he's the school's utmost expert on family law. To have the original Octodad at our school. It really lets me know how committed he is to us. I mean, this guy has got a full plate. You know, I mean, he's a father of 7. He's a loving husband. He's active in the community. Professor, ballroom dancer. I mean, he's so busy. But if anyone in this room can handle getting busy, it's Professor Matthews. And I want to end on this. I'm just going to say a couple nice things. You know, I truly respect Professor Matthews. I appreciate him. And I wouldn't be here today if we didn't share this level of mutual respect. And I actually know...
He respects you.
I actually know that if I ever have a problem, I could go to him and he will offer me genuine fatherly advice. I don't know if that's saying much considering everyone probably gets fatherly advice from you. But thank you guys.